I think that we are really at the beginning of a very different era. 1944, the great minds of the world, Dexter White, John Maynard Keynes, and a bunch, essentially laid the foundations for the Bretton Woods institutions in the United Nations. And they built a system which functioned for over 50 to 60 years. I think that it's time to renew that vision. I think we've got to take it one step further. Unless we're prepared to understand that in fact we're all going to have to give up a little bit of our sovereignty in order to make the world work.
What we have now seen is leaders come together and establish a framework for global governance, not a world government, but sensible governance. These measures are enacted and we continue to move forward with the G20 process. We will have the kind of global governance that is necessary to ensure the stability and transparency of markets. It does not detract from national sovereignty.
That in fact we're all going to have to give up a little bit of our sovereignty in order to make the world work.
But in a globalized economy, we are going to have to take global responsibilities, and there is going to have to be some semblance of global governance.
And I call this enlightened sovereignty. Enlightened sovereignty, then, the natural extension of enlightened self-interest.
In the months since Paris, our government has met with our provincial and territorial premiers, as well as Indigenous and municipal leaders. Together, we're creating a plan that will help us meet or exceed our emissions targets and encourage clean economic growth.
The former Harper regulations would not come close to meeting the targets that the Harper government set, and you want to keep those.
To encourage actions that will reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we're investing billions in a low-carbon economy fund.
Will you unveil a plan that will actually meet the Paris targets?
Of course I will unveil a plan that reaches the targets that we have already voted in favor of. We believe that Canada has to be part of the solution. We want to have, we will have a meaningful plan to reduce emissions, and that will also tackle
tides that are of concern to people who play in the globalization sandbox. There is a real interest in what Canada has to offer, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm so happy to be here and chatting with all of you.
A United Nations plan to make mass migration normal and easier.
Whether people arrive regularly or irregularly.
Will the Prime Minister tell us if it still believes that Canada is a sovereign country that must protect its border and its identity? Yes or no?
Of course not. But will Justin Trudeau fight with his very last breath to make sure that this Canada stays the Canada that we collectively know it can be? Absolutely.